I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
Oh man, what's up? Happy Friday, TGIF, some people say. But it's Dominic D'Angelo. I'm of several outlets, but I'm here today live on RVDTV.com, live on Rob Van Dam's YouTube channel, and you're never going to guess who I have with me today. It's Mr. Rob Van Dam. Rob, how are you?
Damn it, you get me with that every single week. I'm so confused. How can it be Friday if I'm listening to the RVD One of a Kind podcast live? I thought those were on Thursdays.
We go live on Thursday. If you don't know what Thursday is, it's trash night. But Thursday is not today. Today is Friday for everyone. Oh, not aware. But we are live, and we have plenty of people in the chat here. Some of our regulars like Triple E, Jem the Dawn. Maddie, of course, is in the house as well. So shout out to everybody there. If you're new here, introduce yourself. Say hi. I'll try to pop you up on the chat here.
Hi, class.
Hi, class. Hey, we have a new person here today with us, Rob. We had a guest last week, Spike Dudley, who was amazing. I love Spike. He was awesome. But we have a new guest here today, too, Rob. Why don't you do the honors of introducing him?
Yeah, well, you guys probably don't know my friend Tom, but maybe you do. But he's not someone that's been requested a bunch, so you're wrong if you were guessing Booker T or whatever. But I was just thinking, man, it'd be cool to have a guest. It'd be cool to have someone that I need to call anyway just to catch up with. But let's just do it on the air, kind of like what I did with Sandman. And I said, hey, I wonder, but it's Friday night. My friend Tom is a stand-up comedian, and he stays busy. So I said, I bet he's probably not available. Let me just see. I'll shoot my shot. And he's actually off tonight, so we got him right here, Mr. Tom Garland.
Yes, Tom.
Hey,
brother.
Tom.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Thank you. I appreciate the strong intro. You were like, you guys will be excited for our guest. I'm like, they don't know who the hell I am, but I'm excited to be here.
Tom, besides being a stand-up comedian, he also managed RVD when RVD did some tours doing stand-up comedy, and it still, sometimes gets me booked or whatever, but also introduced me to Joe Clark, and then we made Headstrong. It was like the three of us, even though Tom got cut out originally in the credits and had to get put back in. Yeah, it was an oversight. Just when it first came out, whatever the platform was, we got ripped off on the first platform anyway, so it wasn't, like something.
So fuck them, right? I can curse on here, right?
Oh yeah, we fucking say fuck all the time.
In the intro, it like bleeped out the whole fucking show, so I worried about that. I was am I gonna? Is this a PC RVD that I don't know about?
No, I just did that just in case, like when I post clips up and stuff like that.
Like I like it. I'm goofing around.
Yeah.
But, let me just say off the bat, it's crazy how just like 2 weeks ago, I was talking about this bully society, how they're so hateful. They want to share their hate, and they want, and they exude hate. And so everything coming for them is just hate. Every one of you cyber bullies that sent me hate, I know you're the same people that said free Luigi and thought it was cool that he murdered someone because that was someone else you hate. And now again, these guys have a hero in this dude that just shot Charles Kirk. Charlie Kirk. Yeah. I didn't know who the guy was personally before this happened. And then I saw a bunch of his footage. I see where he gets his hate. And it seems like, just like we've been talking about, the problem with the hate society is the guy has a different opinion. So they think he should die because he has a different opinion than them.
Yeah, it's a wild situation where it's like how people reacted to everything. It's just like it shows you just how toxic social media can be. And
yeah, and those people, you know, I mean, that some of them are out behind social media and in the political field like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have an odd opinion on. Is that my mic? I have an odd opinion on that being like, okay, so obviously violence is never the answer, right? But then for some reason, everybody thinks they need to chime in, and maybe that's only because I'm only friends with comedians on social media. But I also don't think comedy is the answer either. Like that doesn't solve anything either, you know? And I think the Charlie Kirk guy, God bless him, but man, guy talked about some tough topics. It was like, what do you think? He'd going around in public and being like, what do you think about gay marriage? And what do you think about, you know, in the comedy world, we don't start there. Usually we start with like talking about food with people or weed or pro wrestling or something like that, right? You don't start with like with wars and violence. And
Speaking of weed. No, but what do you mean, Tom? What do you mean like comedy isn't the answer? Because like you know, I love the no holds barred approach of a roast when comedians can just find the most offensive shit, and as long as it's funny, it's okay. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like that and don't see where it's harmful, except it desensitizes people, but they're too fucking sensitive anyway.
No, I don't think it's harmful in any way. I didn't mean it that way. I mean it like, how do I say this? So it's like a Band-Aid, you know, or like it's escapism, like a nightclub or something like that. That's, you know, they call them comedy clubs. You know, it's a club. You go into the club, and I would agree with you, Rob. In there, it's supposed to be no holds barred. It's supposed to be a free speech space, and everything's supposed to be, you know, open forum. Instead, what we have with this guy is you have somebody out in public on college campuses, you know, and I don't, again, agree one way or the other, but the one thing that drives me nuts with these situations, and they do this on both sides, they do it with every shooting, is they always say the shooter's political affiliation. Right. Like, yeah, they're like, this guy was a Republican, this guy was a Democrat. I'm like, I think he was a nut job. I don't feel like that really is a political, you know.
But you saw the messages that he wrote on the bullets or whatever, right? I mean,
yeah, he's completely whacked out. He wrote video game messages on the, you know.
I love the sense of humor. If you're reading this, you are gay. LOL.
Is that his comment? I don't think I can see the comments.
He wrote that on his bullet.
Oh, he wrote that on the bullet?
I think it was the bullet. It was the bullet or some kind of weapon. I think it was the bullet. Someone in the chat room can tell me if I'm wrong, but yeah, there was a few messages that he wrote, and that was the last one. And
if
one,
you read this, you're gay.
Another one, yeah. If you're reading this, you are gay.
I told you, comedy doesn't solve anything. That's my point right there.
It's something about Bela Ciao.
That's the one I saw. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What was that in pertaining to? Bela Ciao?
Well, the translating it is like beautiful goodbye, and I believe it's a song he was making a reference to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all the details of what all was written, but I saw it all, and it was like he, you know, definitely must have had an agenda to write that shit on the bullets, I would think. But
yeah, but I think it is. It's like people automatically on social media would go like, "Oh yeah, what political? Everything would be politicized." And I understand Charlie was a political commentator and things to that effect, but it also is just like, don't people realize how much division that's already causing? You know, you're segmenting yourself out with something, your own party, the red and the blue. It's like we're all human beings. It's like an awful thing that somebody gets shot and killed in America in that form or fashion. I mean, there's death and tragedy all across the world in today's world and everything to that effect. But I mean, for this to just kind of get blown up into more politicization and more division is just the really upsetting aspect of it all, I think.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that division comes from we're trying to answer too tough of questions, you know. We're trying to answer and you got everybody on social media chiming in about it, about what should we do with immigration? What should we do? Where should we deport these people to? Should we keep them? Should we house them? What should we do with them? It's like, let's answer easier questions as a country first and build up from there. Here's one. Start with Chick-fil-A. Why is Chick-fil-A against gay marriage, but they put mayonnaise on everything?
See?
You know,
See, simple stuff.
like simple. Start there. You know,
start simple. Build our way up a little bit.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, even regardless of looking into the particulars of the subjective opinions on either side, it's more just about you can't have an opposing opinion in certain societies. Right. It's not allowed. They want you to die if you have a different opinion than them, and that's where I mean, it may seem like I'm generalizing, but that's where my biggest problem is, that I could never fold on. You know, I don't know, Tom, if you know, but I got some heat a few weeks ago from the internet mark community.
It was a heck of a ride, let me tell you that much.
Yeah, and really that's what it comes down to, you know, just because they didn't like one of the comments somewhere said, like something like, you were my favorite wrestler, and then when I saw you got Raja's back, it broke my heart. I gotta tell you something. That shouldn't break your fucking heart. So grow the fuck up, you know.
Right.
If I have an opinion that's different, I mean, if you're 8 years old, I get it. If you're up to 15, maybe up to 15, but if you're an adult and it broke your heart,
yeah,
because of either the way I worded it or maybe because of the way I actually felt, either way, it had nothing to do with you at all. And I wasn't saying I hate this gender or this people, you know, I hate all Chinese people or black people, or there was nothing. It was just, hey, you know, for so far, I'm going to take his back for this conversation. Let's talk about it. And then boom, you know, like, no, burn everything you got of RVDs. They can't, there's no way, because, you know, we hate Raja. We're going to hang him. He don't deserve a defense. He don't deserve a lawyer. He don't deserve anyone to look at his side of the story. Fuck that. We're judge, jury, and executioner. And all those people that were so positive, oh yeah, he's going to be in jail. Like, if he ain't in jail, he's going to be in jail in the next hour. Where's he at? All these genius prosecution teams that are judge, jury, and executioner. And, you know, if he does end up there eventually later, so what? It's okay if I'm wrong. You know, that's what opinions are. They're subjective. So if I say, you know, it's so stupid. It's like I said something like this on stage too. When if I, you know, man, you know, the waitress reminds me of Becky, and someone's like, her? No way. Like, who the fuck are you to tell me what she reminds me of?
Reminds you of,
you know? It's her smell, okay? It's her fucking perfume. What do you mean, no? There is no. Stupid. And people don't know that. And they don't know two wrongs don't make a right. So if you start saying, hey, you know, you shouldn't feel the release, you shouldn't need to feel that release of that's not a positive thing to do, to go online and send insults and hoping people will want to kill themselves. Yeah, well, I don't think saying I got a murderer's back is a good thing. What?
Right.
Did you hear what I just said, or did you just wait until I was done talking so you could say that? Nobody's trying to murder anybody, by the way. Although a couple of successful murders, and I know that makes these toxic trolls happy, including this guy, you know, fucking boom. People are celebrating from that guy dying. It's one of the most glorious things that was caught by the public eye, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the close-up clip. I only saw the far away one, and I felt bad after watching that. And later on, when I heard there was like a closer view, I was like, I'm not watching that.
I accidentally saw. I was on Twitter and somebody said something. You know, sometimes you don't see like CNN News first. You see some comment and they were like, Charlie Kirk was shot. And then I was like, bullshit. God, there's always such fake news out there. And so I type in Twitter, like, Charlie Kirk shot. And then I see the video, and then the video is his neck exploding. And it was, dude, I was like, despite what anybody thought about the guy, it was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen ever, period. It was just so up close, 4K graphic and real that I was like, God, that's gross. But Rob, to what you were saying, like, I feel like that you're right when you're saying, like, you know, oh, if you're 8 years old, maybe that's the right reaction. There's such a media illiteracy, and there's such a like childlike mind with a lot of these reactions, you know. They're just knee-jerk childlike reactions. And I don't know if maybe that's just the circles we're in. Maybe that's wrestling fans or marks or whatever, or internet trolls, or that's, you know, people that come to comedy clubs or what. But
no, but you know what it is. I don't know if you guys saw the TMZ interview I did a couple of days ago.
I caught at least half of it. I think it was, Rob. Yeah.
One point that I want to repeat on my show is I was talking about the internet mark community, and they're such a small percentage. Like, they're not the real people, because they would never say anything to somebody's face. The real people, I saw a couple of days in Ottawa, Canada, at the Comic-Con. They were lined up to tell me, you know, how much they loved me and how I affected their lives. These few that actually would go through the trouble of sitting behind the protection of a keyboard and actually hurl insults at people and hate at people that they don't even know. Those are very small percentage, but they have learned to surround you in certain areas on the internet. So it's like the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae. They surrounded the enemy and made him feel like they're everywhere, but they're really just right there. And if you ever get bullied online, just keep that in mind.
It is, though. It's like it's an echo chamber. It's an echo chamber of idiots, and I'll attest, Rob. We've been friends for like 10 years. I've gone on tour with you.
You're not going to talk about that time in the back seat, are you? Because I told you.
What I was gonna say, what I was gonna say is this: is that you get love everywhere you go. Everywhere we've been, people come up. I've never heard any fan or somebody that recognized you come up and say something negative to you. And that's just, in fact, though, one time, I don't know why, but I want to share this. One time and this woman, you know, sometimes they get nervous, I think, to approach you, and so they would approach me and say. The woman was like, "Oh, my son, he couldn't come to the show tonight. I want him to meet Rob." And I said, "Oh, he's right over there. Why don't we just call your son?" And I thought in my mind that meant she had like a little boy that we were going to call. And I got Rob, I put him on the phone and handed it to Rob. And I was like, "Rob, this little boy wants to talk to you." And Rob said, "Hey, little boy, it's RVD." And the guy said, "Hey, man, not shit. What up?" It was like a 50-year-old guy at home that just didn't want to buy a ticket. I was like,
damn.
Yeah.
That reminds me of when I met Joe C. from Kid Rock.
Yeah.
We were in Detroit, ECW house show in Detroit, in Taylor, Michigan, I guess. And Pee Wee, the referee, had him in the back. And this was kayfabe, time. Mm-hmm. And I'd seen Sabu do this a bunch too, so that I was probably motivated by that too. But I'm in the back and I see him and I'm like, hey, you can't be back here, dude. And Pee Wee's like, no, he's cool, he's with me. I'm like, Pee Wee, you can't have this kid back here, man. Get the fuck out of here. And I kicked him out. And then like a few minutes later, I went outside, was smoking or whatever. And when I came back to the dressing room, they were in there again. I'm like, dude, I told you can't be back here. Pee Wee, what are you fucking doing? You can't be having kids in the back like this. And Joe C looked up at me and he said, no, I'm 26 years old, man. Straight up, no shit. I got this disease, celiac disease. And so I can't grow. And I got this thing in my tummy. I got to eat, through a hose every night. And I was like, this guy is telling me the truth. I'm looking at a little kid but there's a man talking to me, and I can tell he's not bullshitting me. Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna make that up? And what kind of kid can talk like that?
Yeah. Gary Coleman. That's it. Just
Rob, for clarity,
Sounded like he would talk like a little kid and go, my dad, you
Right.
know, but instead, you know, he's just like, yeah, no shit, bro. I got this disease that makes me look like this. I can't help it. And I'm actually 26. And yeah, you get it. But wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rob, for clarity, tell who Pee Wee is. It's not Pee Wee Anderson, right? It's
No, people say that a lot too, but it's John Pee Wee Moore, different Pee Wee. There's two Pee Wee referees. Pee Wee Anderson was the WCW referee,
right.
and John Pee Wee Moore was ECW, and also Japan, wherever Sabu was. He was Sabu's personal referee.
And he was the one that wanted to race you, or like, what is?
Yeah, yeah. I'd always have to shut him up. He would get too cocky, and you know, I can beat you in a race because you know, because you probably haven't run in a long time. Yeah, he was ignorant, and but also I had a lot of fun with him. But yeah, I had to beat him in a 200-yard dash race in Trenton, New Jersey, on the football field. And I had to beat him in the batting cage. Every once in a while, he'd be like, well, you know, yeah, but a normal person, you know, but not you. Yeah, whatever, you know.
Right.
And now you're beating them all up on social media.
That's it.
I haven't talked to him in a long time, Pee Wee, and I miss him. He was fun. A lot of times he and I would bond when Sabu was out of his mind.
Well, it's funny because like I just did one of the match reviews like for the member channel, and it was you versus Spike Dudley in 1999, and the referee was Pee Wee. I was like, oh, that's the Pee Wee Rob's been talking about. So,
yeah.
Hey, it's football season. Man, can you see it? I'm wearing all the Jets gear. I'm a New York Jets fan. And yeah, I'm sweating the season, sweating it big time, as I should, because my Jets usually stink. Well, you don't want to stink at all this football season. And we got the perfect thing for you. That is Mando. That's correct. Mando is the way to go. I tell you what, you want to smell like an adult? You want to smell like you're a real fan that knows what he's doing, that is reading the room right? You got to get Mando. And I tell you what, boom. Mando, this is my favorite right here. This right here is the bourbon leather. It smells real good. I actually, too, like the Mount Fuji a lot. But the bourbon leather, man, you want to smell like an adult? This is it. Been a big fan of Mando since they've been a sponsor of ours. I literally went out and bought the deodorant spray, too, because it's comes in such a handy. If you're ever in a pinch and you're worried that you might smell or stink or reek a little bit, you're just like, boom, pop it in there. Great for on the road. Great for tailgating. If you're out there out and about, and you don't got to carry a stick around. But Mando's the best. And seriously, you want to smell good this football season, and you want your team to play good this football season. So Mando's starter pack is the perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, boom, to say it right here, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. So if you have the option, I would try to maybe go with the deodorant spray if that's an option for you. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with exclusive code. Use code RVD at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and say hello to long-lasting freshness. Jets, Jets. We got some super chats already in the house. We'll start off. Maddie, I'll get to yours in a second. We'll talk about that more in depth. But Frankie Terrizzo asked the good questions. Thanks for the $5. What advice, Rob, would you give a guy about to start pro wrestling on the indies? What advice would both guys give a guy about to start up in stand-up comedy? Ooh, I like that one. So, Rob, what advice would you give to somebody right now starting at pro wrestling and on the indie scene?
Man, you know, the first thing that comes out of my mouth is it's so different nowadays than it was. Like, you know, I was told to the first couple of years, get as much ring time as I could. Didn't matter what they called me, what they did with me, what my part was on the show, as long as I could get booked and get experience. And I kind of would like to pass that on, but it doesn't even seem realistic because nowadays people are going to feel like if they work under the same name for a few times that they're getting a reputation already, and they're going to feel like they're starting something because every little outlaw show is either part of a bigger plan or there's so many indie promotions that they will start in probably early in their career, but I don't know. I mean, I would still say it sounds like sound advice to me, like to just get as much experience and not worry about getting pushed. You don't deserve a push yet, and don't try to be like anybody else because there's already one of them. And listen to those who you respect. And stand-up comedy is very similar for me, as far as like I had a vision and I would like envision what I want to do when I go out there, and I would envision the reaction from the crowd with a match or with jokes, and picture, like I think the crowd would like it if I wait and then I say this or something, and then you go out there and you get that instant gratification. It's like real similar, but first you got to have a message to give, and so like obviously if you want to do stand-up, then you already think you got some material and you want to try it or whatever, but that may or may not be material you stick with. And the same thing with wrestling. Like when you start out, you're trying to figure out who you are. You don't necessarily have a message you're trying to deliver yet, so you're trying to fake it till you make it. Sometimes you can tell, like you can see right through that, and they don't know why they're doing what they're doing in the ring. Why am I walking around looking at the people? It just feels like I should be doing that, and I know I got to eat up time. And it just little things like that make all the difference in how they're perceived. So you got to first get experience, and until you have a message that you're ready to deliver. What say you, Thomas?
Yeah, I would agree with like it's so funny because when we have talked about stuff like this in the past, even before we got on, Dom said you were like, you didn't know who I was, which no one does. And so he said he Googled Tom Garland wrestler to try and
I wondered about that, dude. I wondered if you wanted to know who he was first. And I thought about like I could tell you, because usually I wondered if you did that, like always. And then I was like, I should have told him or sent him a link to his.
It's okay.
Well, the funny thing was I was like, is that Scotty Too Hottie's real name? Because I knew Scott's last name was Garland. I was like, is that
Right.
Scotty Too Hottie? It's like Tom Garland. I typed Tom Garland wrestler, but sure enough, Tom did pop up.
The AI was like, you are going to be disappointed. It is not a wrestler.
Disclaimer.
So, my advice if you want to start stand-up comedy is probably don't get into wrestling. There's money in that. There's like, the stand-up is so thinned out in that regard. But in all seriousness, I would totally echo everything Rob said, just in that in the stand-up world, which would be what I know, it's what I always heard was stage time. It's you want to start going up as much as possible. And kind of like Rob said, like, even if you don't have it all planned out, or you use different names or characters or gimmicks or whatnot, just getting yourself reps and not always trying to be the star of the show, but just hosting even and going to open mics and getting as much stage time as possible. That's really, I think, the route at first to get into it. And then over time you build material and that sort of thing.
Well, Tom, let me ask you this then too, like, since the landscape of comedy, and I mean, everything changes, but like, when you look at how society's changed and shifted, and people are a little bit more on edge about certain things, and
Right.
how do you navigate something like that in the world of comedy? Do you stay true to who you are, or what would you give that kind of advice to somebody who's just starting off on the stage?
I think it depends on who you are or what your character, your act is, right?
Mhm.
I think that would have a big impact on it. Like, especially, if you were pursuing different, there's just so many different routes because it's just you up there. So,
Right.
That being said, kind of the way I approach it is I try to remember if it's something I probably wouldn't say in real life, then I probably wouldn't say it on stage. I try and tell the truth a lot because it's easier to remember, and not make, and then you start making up too many lies while you're up there and trying to craft something that's not really you, then it gets hard to keep up with as kind of it goes along. But I'm also like real big on like, if I haven't experienced it, like not always directly, but if I haven't experienced it much, I probably shouldn't be talking about it too much either.
Right.
We mentioned earlier, we were talking about politics and racism and other stuff like that. It doesn't really come into my life very often. I'm privileged or excited about that at least, but at the same time, it's just not my experience. So you're going to have somebody, Rob mentioned, Asians, some Asian might go up there and talk about that culture or their experience and that sort of thing. That's also a way I stand out, in that I'm not going to grab the low hanging fruit like that.
No.
Yeah. See, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I was gonna follow. Oh yeah, who were your comedic influences starting off there, Tom? Like who really got you kind of? Oh, I got to do this for a living. I want to try my hand at this. Is there any inspirations?
Yeah, I like all the, I enjoy stand up in general. So I probably like a lot of the comedians. You were talking earlier. You said you like Shane Gillis. I was like, oh, I like Shane Gillis. So I'm a fan of the industry in general. Probably when I was younger, I really liked Eddie Murphy. I liked Ralphie May and guys like that. I liked the guys like that probably push the envelope a little bit, probably even more than I do in my act. But I kind of hit a weird spot in my act where I think what actually formed it was I was doing tours with Rob, and I was doing tours with lots of other people and myself. And I was kind of perpetually kind of staying on the road as much as I could. And I found myself, a lot of comedians find this, where I was doing the same material every night. And I don't think it was bothering the audiences because it would be the first time they've ever heard it, but it was driving me insane. And so I started doing a lot of crowd work and a lot of audience involvement in my shows and a lot of improv and trying to blend all that together. And I think that's really where my act kind of took a turn into at least what it is now that nobody knows. So I don't know if that was the right thing to do, but it was certainly what I did. Yeah.
What do you think? Something I hear about comedy nowadays is like a lot of new comics and stuff lean on crowd work, and it's like overdone a lot. Do you agree with that assessment? And what, like, I figure I hear it's a criticism going on with some comedians. They don't like the overwork of crowd work, so to speak.
Sure. I think that just like anything, there's good wrestling and bad wrestling, right? And there's probably more bad out there than good. And there's good stand-up and bad stand-up. And so, yeah, on the lower levels, like I would say crowd work is an advanced skill to have in the, I don't really know what to compare that to, but it's on the higher level of what you should be doing on stage. I think first you want to build your act or build some material. I've heard that the further you get into comedy, it should be in the moment first with them, and then the material is the fallback. But if you don't have the fallback, then the bad things can happen. You see a lot of comics out there, they're filming these crowd work clips, they're 30 seconds long, and they say to the audience, they say, what do you do for a living? And he's like, I'm in construction. And they're like, construction? That's fucking crazy. And then that's the end of the clip. And I'm like, that's not crowd work. Like, I understand that but that's not fucking crowd work. Like, you need to create it.
You're a hard hat.
Yeah. And you need to create a whole improv off of that, and stay in the moment. I guess the way I did that with my act was I had what I thought was maybe an hour of strong material. right?
Mhm.
And I was featuring a lot, which is like 30 minutes, you know, and that's what I would do for Rob is I would feature for Rob would do an hour. He's the draw, he's the, you know, the headliner, and I would do 30 minutes in front of him. So when I'm going to professional shows with somebody like Rob, I'm doing my 30 minutes of strong material. But then what I started to do when I got sick of just doing that was for, I want to say it was like a year, I went to open mics and showcases on the sly, and I only did crowd work the entire time.
Oh, really?
So if they gave me 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I would force myself to only do crowd work, and I would go up with no act. And I did that for and it took me about a year to get it down. And I would just force myself, and it's, you know, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? How did you know her? How did you guys meet? And then, and start creating a village out of these people and finding out who's who, and then how to turn that into improv games with them.
Interesting. So it's like another tool in the toolbox, basically, that you're adding to the aspect of it all, and kind of.
But Tom, you know, everything you said, which happens a lot, is exactly like wrestling. Like if you don't have a match already worked out in your head and thought up in advance with the guy you're working with, and you're going to go out there and wing it and interact with the crowd, it takes like a whole another level of skills to be able to do that. And they used to be like all that, and then you know, less and less, and now it might be a lost art form, maybe, or maybe they still do it on some of the indies, maybe, but definitely, you know, like it's going in a different direction. But just like you said, I mean, it's just like with stand up. If you're going to go out there and just wing it and work off the crowd and be comfortable and still be able to give them a good enough show to meet their expectations when they're expecting to see the other, which is all the high spots, you know, everything planned out, knowing where everything needs to be to get the proper peak of crowd popping, you know, then same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So maybe my misconception, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but so maybe my misconception is what you'd said about like some comedians just post 30-second clips of crowd work, and that's what gets them viral and turns them into something bigger. Maybe that's kind of what I'm thinking, and not so much of criticism of crowd work in itself.
Yeah, and I think they're criticizing that a lot. I know what you're saying. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I post the clips. Lots of my friends. I used to do stand-up in Chicago with a guy right now who's blowing up from that. His name's Jeff R. Curry. I think he's got like 3 million followers or something like that. Don't hate me, Jeff, if I got that number wrong. That's probably lower than it is. He's huge right now. I think a lot of it's from crowd work.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. He's super funny, really big right now. A lot of it's just his crowd work. It's a great tool because he doesn't leak his act either. You know, his crowd work is out there, but that interaction will never happen the same way again. So you can pay to go see him again and know that the show will be genuine and different. That means what I'm talking about is like brand new comics, like, or unskilled comics that are just like saying one thing to the audience and thinking that's material, that's crowd work. I liked how Rob said you're walking around the ring, looking around, trying to waste time. You see that on stage with comedians.
Sure.
You see lots of shout out, give it up, let's do a toast. And you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Your showcase, you have 5 minutes, you know, 1 minute to
give yourselves a round of applause.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, it's just crazy. Give it up for the troops, you know, like what? Just stuff like it's like you
give it up for Lent.
Yeah.
You get one, like, is this thing on? And then after that, it's, you know, it's time to go. So I think the other misconception of it is people see stand-up, and this is the magic show of stand-up, is to make them believe that you're just talking, that you're just having that there's nothing planned out, just like wrestling, you know, that nothing is planned out, nothing has been, there's no spots or anything. Everything's just flying off the cuff, and I'm the funniest guy alive in the moment. Which, you know, at times you trust you're funny, at times that happens, but some of it's obviously prepared. You know, much like a magic show, you know, the guys, you know, it's only exciting when he pulls the rabbit out of the hat, right? So what you have is people watching that, and seeing, I got a hat in my other room. I'll go see if there's a rabbit in there. And you're like, no, you have to plan this out. This has to be a whole thing. And so you have guys going up with little to no material, not prepared, just looking for these clips. And I think that's what people are upset about, you know?
Okay. Then that makes more sense then, for sure, because like it just sounds like crowd work sounds like a very like challenging but useful tool to like have if you're a comedian, or I mean, geez, a wrestler too in itself. So hey, what do you say? I'll tell you what you say. You say perfect. I say Gene. We say perfect jeans. It's fall. Fall is coming around, right? Fall weather brings some good clothes out, you know, especially if you're going through the seasons and stuff like that. You're in an area involved in the seasons. You want to look good, even if it gets a little cooler, a little less hot. And but you still want to look hot. You still want to look good. And there's no better way to do that than with the perfect jeans. Yes. If wearing jeans feels like a job, fall's about to make it a full-time struggle. That's right. Most jeans just can't hang. They fight you going on, cut off circulation the second you win a battle against the button, and it gives you instant swamp ass the second the sun shows up. Look, let me say this too. The pair of jeans I have on right now are not the perfect jeans. And I literally trying to climb on my bike. Like I'm like nearly falling over because they don't have the stretch and the durability and comfort that the perfect jean has. Well, the perfect jean is here to end your denim difficulties with jeans that make getting dressed feel like one of those damn, I look good, I didn't even try moments. They're made with super soft fabric that blend makes you say, holy shit, the second you slide them on, and still stylish enough to idiot-proof your fall wardrobe so you'll always look put together. No fashion sense needed. That's right. They got 4-way dynamic stretch so you can effortlessly leap over puddles or get on your bike and haul ass to catch your 7 a.m. train to work. Lightweight so you won't be baking on the bleachers at your kid's ball game during the hottest time of the day. With reinforced seams and YKK zippers, you'll never have to worry about being caught with your fly down or embarrassing crotch blowouts. That's right. All these other pairs of jeans, crotch blows out, hasn't happened once with my pair of perfect jeans. So you got to do it. You got to do it. It's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off their first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code RVD15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code RVD15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Fuck your khakis. Hey, get the perfect jean. So it's just, that makes a lot more sense.
Best way I can describe it. So you got, have you ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? We've all seen
yeah,
it.
definitely.
So that's improv, right? They always call that. And then what I do and what Rob does is called, stand up. So that's just one person. And the other is ensemble. It's like 5 people, right?
Right.
Crowd work is doing ensemble improv with one person.
Yeah.
And so they do something in that show where they'll go, can I get a suggestion from the audience? I need a person, place, or thing. That's what I'm doing when I do crowd work, but I'm just blending it in.
Yes.
I'm just making it sound conversational. I'm saying, where do you work, dude? Do you have a job? Because I need a place of business to create my improv that I'm about to do.
Right, right.
I don't, not that I don't care where he works. I guess that's interesting to a sense, but right. I'm there to create an improv out of it, not to just talk to him because I need 5 minutes to waste,
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, that makes a lot more sense. I love Whose Line Is It Anyway. Is Wayne Brady going to have to choke a bitch? Rob, to kind of transition that into wrestling a little bit, who was somebody that was pretty seamless at being able to kind of read the room of an audience and stuff like that, but kind of stick according to the game plan or pivot away from what might be going, just depending on how the crowd's reacting to anything? Does that question make sense?
It does. I'm just thinking like what era? Like I've been wrestling so long that I'm thinking,
right?
Because when I started out, it would be mostly that. You know what I mean? It would be like when I was wrestling guys that were veterans, and I was fucking 20, 21, whatever I was, super young, up to 23 in the early 90s, all that shit. Greg Valentine, not Wahoo, I'm sorry, but Manny Fernandez. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like we would sit down and then call out a 20-minute match. You know,
Yeah.
like it's funny to even think that because that's how much it's changed now. But it would be, you know, like, what do you do, kid? You know, oh, fucking, boom, I do a monkey flip and I do kicks, you know, like, oh, and if you backdrop me, I land on my feet, you know. And be like, all right, man, I got you. Just listen to me, you know.
Yeah.
That's how it would be. That's how it would be. In the modern era, it's like I don't even know if it's done, but some guys definitely can do it. You know, Chris Jericho, and a lot of people will remember when I made. It was during my return, 2013, I believe, when I've been gone for a long time, and I came back to WWE, and there was a match in Brooklyn, I guess it is. The oh God, I had the Barclays Center, yeah. Anyway, I wrestled Jericho. I think that was my first match. And the night before was the Money in the Bank, like ladder match in Philly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was at that show. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then seems like that's the way it went. And then got Jericho. And anyway, man, we went out there and forget anything that we talked about once you get out there anyway. Like they were having problems with the timing, and they kept adding time to our match. And then and this is on TV, I think live, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know if there was a match. I think they were trying to figure out what to do and got rid of a match and then had a gap. And then try to figure out how much of it to put on us and how much to maybe to roll over. But I kept hearing, you know, ref would come over, you know, and say, you know, don't go home yet, you know, 200 minutes, 200 minutes, you know, and then, you know, then same thing, don't go home yet, you know, how long? I'll tell you, just keep working. And so many people afterwards said that they loved that match, and they said it was like because it was two old school guys and working out there instead of the way that the young guys were doing it, and it was almost all Chris getting the messages from the ref or whatever, you know, and then knowing what to do. But it was two pros being out there. But you know, I give Chris total props for that, and so definitely he comes to mind to answer your question.
Fucking A, that's awesome. Just gave me the inspiration for my next match review. Then I'm gonna look at that one. That'll be the next one I do. Man, good stuff. Yep. Hell yeah. Let's see. Jem the Don just had a good comment here. He's a member for 1 month, rvdtv.com. You can join up and be a member. Always great guests, always great pod, always a great time. Thankful for my weekly podcast, RVD fam. Rob, what's the riskiest move you performed in wrestling? Riskiest move.
Well, what comes to mind is when I went and did when me and Sabu did the double whammy through the table, and I was doing a leg drop, and the table, instead of just busting straight down, it also, like a piece of it went to the outside like that. And so there was a jagged piece that ripped through my eyelid. Yeah. And looking back at it, you know, I really risked losing my eyesight because I had to get 7 stitches in my eyelid. That's really, when you think of how thin your eyelid is, that was really close to ripping my eyeball. So after that, whenever we would do that move, and I would do a leg drop, and Sabu would usually do a splash or vice versa or whatever we felt like. But when I would do a leg drop, I would do just like when I do a can opener off the diving board, so that because the water would punch me in the face. I don't know if anybody that plays in a swimming pool can relate to that, but you go down, boom, and the water just punches you. So I would cover my face, and you can see that on any video after that match. I think it was Bam Bam on the table, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. And, boom, opposite corners. And obviously, my eyelids hanging. Everyone's got their own story. Tommy totally exaggerates because he says that my eyes were closed, but he could still see my eyeball when I was talking to him.
Oh my God.
There's no way it was that bad. That's the way he remembers it, though. But also, I got it taped. I put tape around my head and went back out and wrestled the Dudley Boys in a handicap match. So those are good times, I liked I like that about the company and about the being able to express the fighter in us like that, But yeah, I really risked on that one losing my sight, at least out of my eyeball. So after that, if anything, it was just going to cut the back of my hand. You can watch that afterward. Watch me go like that, and you can tell if that's before or after that one bump.
Gives you the timeline of it all.
Yep.
That's funny. This is the money right there, Rob. You protect that.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
Did you ever risk losing your eye on stage?
no, but well,
tomatoes.
I was gonna jump in and say I think the riskiest move Rob's ever done was coming to do some stand-up comedy tours with me, because that's people are like, you're going to who? Where? We're like, we're going to Connellsville, Pennsylvania. It all makes sense.
Oh my God. Yeah, geez.
We really did.
The famous dive that I did to Bam Bam Bigelow that everyone has seen a million times.
Yeah.
I do remember when I was about to jump and I'm on the top rope, right? It was there's like a steel cable, and then there's like a hose that goes over top of it, and that's what we're dealing with. WWE has always used nylon ropes. That's always been a big difference. I love the steel cable because they get super tight. I can get a lot of bounce off of it. And the bigger guys don't necessarily care. They're not using the bounce. But anyway, I remember sometimes those spin, the hose. Yeah. And that went through my mind. So I'm squatting and about to dive out to Bamber, and he's way out there. And I'm like, I know I can get him, but I got to really put a lot into this jump, and man, if when I put everything into that jump, if the fucking hose rolls on me and my momentum fucking spins off like that, I'm probably going to land on the back of my neck on the guardrail down there instead of way out there, and it's probably going to kill me, and I just really, and so that was on my mind, was to, when I jumped, to kind of have my weight, like come down, kind of steadily and even, like before I bounced, because I was afraid if I just did it, it might, which I've had happen, not in an ugly situation where I would land on the guardrail, but I've had that happen on my way in when I was younger and greener before I cut moves out, certain springboards. Yeah, for that reason.
Right. Oh, man. Yeah, you're definitely experimenting early on, and then you're like, what works, what doesn't, what is good for long term?
Yeah, and after a while, it's like, you know what? That's a really cool move. I like showing off. Totally not worth the risk because I could fuck it up. And if I didn't have that in my match, I'm going to come out looking great. But there's a 50-50 chance I might fuck that move up, especially because I'm concentrating on it so much right now.
Yeah.
So fuck that. I'll let someone else have it. Yeah, that happened a lot over the time.
Right. I believe it.
And that's why it's so impressive now to see the guys that are on TV that have everything to risk, running down and doing like a jumping off the top rope and then landing on the other top rope and doing the springboard. You know what I mean? Like some of the Mexican mask guys do it, and they do fuck it up. I saw that botched a couple times yesterday, and I was like, man, it's hard to get back on the horse when you botch something like that, because it's hard to not think of every time like, oh God, this might happen.
Yeah,
I used to do what like it's called a gainer, but off the diving board, I would jump up, and then at the peak of my jump, I would like touch my toes, and then I could either do a jackknife and go into like a straight dive, or from that same position, I could go backwards, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was cool to show off and pretty, and I could have, guess which one I'm gonna do. And then one time something happened where I slipped, and I think I hit the back of my head on the board, not even really hard, but after that I could just never fucking do that move again and confidently go up to that arch in the same way. It was just like psyched me out, and so that's what I mean by getting back on the horse. It's hard sometimes when you fuck up one time. It's like, fuck it. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's crazy.
You're
Rob,
crazy.
Speaking of crazy, you made me think about today's modern wrestling and the risks that they do, and like you talk about like the luchadors doing the flips and like walking from rope to rope. What do you attest to wrestlers getting hurt so often nowadays, like in the ring? Do you think it's some of the high risk maneuvers that they're doing more so, or where does that kind of, or maybe it's the lack of repetition, maybe it's both? I'm sure we talked about this before, but I'm kind of curious what you think,
Rob. Sorry, I'm in this
That's
comment.
okay.
I heard you think Raja is innocent. Yeah, he did nothing.
Nothing.
Did nothing.
Uh-huh.
Come on. You know what? I don't know the answer to that, dude, because I mean, what are they getting injured from? I don't even know that, and that would definitely be a factor in answering that question. What are they? I don't know. Are they getting hurt? And if so, is it from the moves? I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems more prevalent that it's happening. You see so many younger wrestlers like Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, and all these guys. Like they put so much on the line and do some crazy stuff, and then here they're out getting surgeries and out for a longer extended period of time. When it's like you injured I always forget, your ankle. Was it your ankle or was it your in ECW?
The only surgery I've had was on my knee. I had to get my knee reconstructed in 2005 in WWE, but I did break my ankle. Well, there was a time way back when I was like in 91 or 92 in a match with Pistol Pez Watley. I had a hairline fracture on my foot. Yeah. Back when I wrestled barefoot. By the way, watch for Ringside Collectibles new RV Robbie V.
What?
You don't know?
No. Yeah. They're doing the Robbie V?
Robbie V action figure. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
It's the big red one where I'm going. It's that one, but a little different face, and I'm barefoot. And
that's fucking awesome.
I don't have a design on my outfit because my outfits weren't designed yet.
Yeah.
But so anyway, Robbie V, I broke my generation. No, my foot, my base foot slid when I was doing a sidekick on the floor to Pistol Pez. I got a hairline fracture, and then the match with Rhino in 2000. I guess I don't know when it was when I had to give up the TV title. Anyway, I broke my foot or ankle. I think it was my ankle at that time in Orlando. I had to give up the TV title, and there was one more time in 2016, but it was just at a convention. Me and Phil Baroni were wrestling in the cement pond out in front of the hotel because we were totally blitzed. And I ended up breaking my foot then as well in 2016. So I'm used to it, and but I can't remember why I'm even talking about this right now.
Because we were talking about wrestlers getting injured and what was why they get so injured more today.
I do think that's why earlier I said that there's no money in stand-up and there is money in wrestling. That's why, though, because there's injury risk, with risk comes reward. There's no injury risk in stand-up, by the way. There's not. It's not like I'm going to I tripped on the mic cord. And
the only thing that might get
myself on the mic stand,
The only thing that might get hurt is your feelings or something.
Well, did you guys ever see that clip? I don't know what her name is. There was some girl and she got like a beer thrown at her.
No.
They threw like a can of beer at her or a heckler, and then she picked it up and drank it, and then that clip went viral. Good for her, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
I have had that happen. It doesn't quite compare to having my eye cut open, but
Right.
I did some tours that were kind of wilder. I toured with some of the Jackass guys, and their crowds are nuts, you know. Literally one night we went to Montreal, and I'm such a dumb idiot. I guess I didn't realize that they really predominantly only speak French in Montreal, right? Like I thought Montreal, like it's, you know, sure, a couple people speak French, but no, everybody spoke French. Like everything was in French, the street signs, the name of the venue, everything.
That's the number one language. English is number two.
Right,
I
exactly.
wouldn't have known that either. I
didn't know. And so we booked this this show, and we're supposed to do stand-up, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I come out to host. They don't know who I am, right? And they're like, and there's babbling all this shit at me, and I'm like, I'm like, I can't understand you, right? And they were trying to speak English, and they were saying, you do jackass, and I was like, we tell jokes, we know do jackass. And they started to throw beers, and I mean like bottled beers and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know how we're gonna get out of here alive. And yeah, so that, you know, it can get rowdy. We did a lot of shows. Even Rob and I did a lot of shows in rock clubs. But the funny thing is, like, Rob, I don't even think I've ever seen you get heckled. I feel like no one wants to heckle you.
But yeah, sometimes there'll be like fans that are just staring at me like blank, like I wish he would quit talking so I could get his picture afterwards.
It's probably
There is some of that.
that happens.
That's a weird heckle. To just be like, wrap it up.
Even that though, I've tightened up my game. You know, just because like I'm, you know, still at the experience level where, you know, all my more recent shit is better than my not so recent shit. You know, just like with matches or anything. But yeah, when we did that, like I hate all those jokes that used to be funny to me when we did the tour. Now, you know, I have moved so far past them that, you know, I hate like you're talking about the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
But for me, I always got to write something new every time I go up.
I think that's positive though. It's good for the audience. It's good for you mentally too. And, you know, there's nothing worse than.
I also understand for other people, you know, that have like a solid set and they work on it for a long time, especially if they're getting ready to film and they're building up to that.
Sure. Yeah.
But they, yeah, you know, and then work on their delivery and this and that. I get that.
Some stuff is timeless, right? But then sometimes I'll open or be on a show with somebody, and you'll see one of the old timers, and they're going up and they're like telling Britney Spears jokes or something like that, and you're like, you're fucking out of touch, dude. Like, I've seen guys do politics, and they'll talk about Nixon and you know,
that's great.
W. Bush or whatever, and you're like, this guy's got a Bush joke, you know? Like, that's crazy. Like, it's just, you can tell at least as a comic that you're like, that guy hasn't written a new joke in 15 years, you know, like this just hasn't. And I think when you lose that, you lose the fundamental of how it's all comes together anyways.
How often do you hit like I guess for lack of a better phrase, a writer's block when it comes to comedy and writing new jokes?
I'm writing more right now because I'm like kind of transitioning to headlining more I'm kind of approaching it different. When I lived in Las Vegas, someone like me is not going to headline because, you know, it's going to be someone famous or someone with draw. That's that world out there. You're competing with 8 Cirque Soleils and nightclubs and 24-hour gambling and drinking and stuff like that.
Boobies, lots of boobies.
Lots of boobies.
Yeah, titties, don't forget the titties.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We frequented a couple of those.
Boobies.
Titties.
So
Rob put
anytime
a titty on here.
We love boobies.
Yeah. Let's just all take a moment to celebrate titties. That's it.
Rob, what was the name of that rapper that he was at Centerfolds with us one night, and he does the Irish goodbye?
AP9.
AP9, dude. Yeah. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in a strip club. I don't know, you just diverted me here, but we're hanging out at the Centerfolds strip club and we're drinking, and this AP9, who's a famous rapper and is friends with Rob, just was around, right? And he always does the Irish goodbye, right? He fucking just leaves, like he's just gone, like a ghost. And there was some Mark that wanted to meet him and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, AP9. He's like talking his head off. And then I literally like turned and grabbed my drink and AP9 is gone. And they, I mean, gone like Batman.
Yeah.
And the Mark guy, he looks at me and he goes, where did he go? And I was like, oh, he does that sometimes. He just Irish goodbyes. That's like his thing. And the guy goes, you mean with all these titties around? He just said, fuck these hoes. And he's like, that's the most gangster shit I've ever seen. Like,
he knows them all anyway.
Yeah. Right.
3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, to master an Irish goodbye, that's a good quality to have. I think if you get that down pat.
I do it myself,
Yeah.
like, especially like if I haven't really engaged, with anybody for a length of time that I feel like anchored me to the spot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially if there's no one that you got to say, I'll be right back to, because everyone's just like, hey. And it's like, all right, they saw me. I really want to go home.
I really just want to fucking leave.
Yeah.
It's so easy in Las Vegas, though. It's hard. Like where I live in Iowa right now, you can't just Irish goodbye because there's just, you're in a bar with like 10 people. You're like, everybody one is missing. That's like a missing persons report. Vegas,
right.
There's people everywhere. It's disorienting on purpose, right? The casino's got weird walls and carpet and the light. And there would be people after comedy shows and they'd be bothering me. And I'd just be like, 1 second. And then I'd just like turn and I'd go behind a slot and then I'm just fucking gone.
You're nowhere.
Like, you can still see them, but they just don't. They're like consumed by Vegas. Like the lights take them and you're like, they're like 10 feet away from you. And you're like, that guy has no idea I'm fucking over here.
No, he's got zero clue.
Yeah.
I fucking love Las Vegas.
The only thing is sometimes you can fuck up and owe somebody money, either a bar tab or or a tip. You don't think about it because you got out of there instead of saying, when I want to know, so you didn't say, I'll take the check. Yeah, I'm leaving.
All right.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, Seth. So, Tom, this is the guy that does RVD's theme music here for the intro song that you heard. So
the intro song was great, dude. Rob, I don't know if we've talked about this, but I stopped smoking weed because it was making me. I thought to each their own. I thought at least it's making me paranoid during COVID lockdown. Not like so. If I started again, maybe it wouldn't. But I think that song is going to relapse me. Like it was the most. It just like it sounded like weed. If there is a song, it was cool, dude.
It raised your spiritual vibration.
It did. I was like, I can get high like RVD. I can fly. I can frog splash into a dab right now. I can.
You might have told me that, and I might have forgot about the weed. But that's 2 people that I know that are my friends that's happened to. That, but my other one, I mean, even if you smoked somewhat regularly, you still didn't smoke anywhere near as much as my other friend because he was the owner of the Medical Kush Beach Club on Venice Beach.
Oh God,
Sean Kush, yeah, and he did my music, by the way. My Rob Van Dam.
Oh, the Cushionator.
Yeah, Cushionator.
Yeah.
I mean, he heavy smoker. You know what I mean? Especially when he had all of it right there. In his hands, going through all these different kinds every day. He would smoke, and then same thing. Started getting paranoid out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So,
I just realized none of it was like hell. Like for me, I don't know. So I quit smoking. I don't want to plow over this guy's question, but
no, you're fine. I
quit smoking, quit drinking, went vegan.
Whoa!
Most of it was I was trying to lose weight, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Lost 50 pounds, still fat. Still
No,
fat as fuck.
I was going to tell you look a little better than last time I saw
Yeah,
you.
you look good. I
The
saw
last time you saw me, I was like, "Hi, Rob, welcome to Iowa." And you came out for a signing.
Surprised. I was surprised, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't, I didn't know you were bringing all that. Good
All
job.
right. But the neat thing about Seth's song too is like Rob, like we established early on, like Rob's not like into music and stuff like that. But this is the song that kind of hooked Rob on it. So
It moves me, damn it.
yeah. So Seth says, if I had 3 genie wishes, I'd waste a couple of them, make an RVD not break his ankle and lose the TV title, and not get pulled over and lose the WWE title. Then I'd wish for world peace. I like those.
That was like 7 wishes. How did he like? There's 2 ankles.
Oh, so, yeah, you couldn't break. So yeah, that is actually several wishes. I think.
Yep. But you know, those are pretty damn pivotal moments in my career. Both of them. You know, 2 years I had the TV title. Definitely doing my part. You know, to help ECW grow with my efforts in the matches. You know, it really takes. It takes a big ego to be like, I was having the best match every night. You know what I mean? Like wrestlers will say that even if they're not in character.
Yeah.
You know, definitely the best match of the night, you know, by far. It's subjective, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But anyway, I was definitely rocking it at that time with the TV title. Boom. Broke my fucking ankle. Had to take 3 months off. Ended the TV title reign. Otherwise, what would have happened? Who knows? Yeah.
The neat thing about that time period too, Rob, is like you think about the late 90s and how titles kind of bounced around quite a bit, like especially in WWE, but like even in WCW too. But like for you to hold a title for like 2 years, that felt like really, really significant because it's like that didn't happen in that era. Like you look back at the times before that, and like Hogan held the world title for 4 years. And that seems like a long time. But 2 years at that juncture, that felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
So, impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, who gets the credit?
Well, it would be the booking and you for all that. It would be a hand in hand kind of thing, right? Like I would think. Because Paul had the wherewithal to be like, oh, we got to keep the title on Rob and build this up and make it something big deal. And you had the talent and the endurance and the ability to keep that title, you know, and stay healthy for that long.
I make it a point of asking that because a lot of wrestlers, I think, would let, quote, accomplishments go to their head with things like that and actually not only believe that they are the best, but this is why. You know, nobody fucking beat me for 2 fucking years. Yeah, but you know, I mean,
yeah,
I wasn't.
No, it goes hand in hand. I think, you know, like you had the talent and the ability to be able to put on matches and keep the crowd hot and keep that title important. And then at the same time, Paul had the thought process to be like, we got to make this reign last for a long time and build this title up, and in turn build Rob up, and then ultimately the main goal was you versus Awesome, right? So I mean, like,
Well, let's say it's a community effort at best. You know what I mean? I mean, I would love to take credit, and I do because the business lets you, but it's silly to say, you know, like I had this many championship belts, this and that, because really, you know, watch them jerk the curtain open on that new show that they do, and they'll show you the meetings and show you who's really to credit for a lot of the shit. You know what I mean?
right? Yeah, no, it's definitely like a communal kind of aspect of it all for sure. Okay. I want to get to a couple. Okay, I'll start this one. This was one early on. Maddie posted. You heard the news, Rob, about WrestleMania going to Saudi Arabia. They just made that announcement. So this kind of ties it in. Maddie asked for the $2. Should Vince get WWE back? TKO is all about money. So what do you think about WWE WrestleMania going to Saudi Arabia? And then on top of it, yes, does it what's that say? Should Vince get WWE back, or where do you think Vince's head would be at that?
I don't know as far as that goes. That would be amazing if he was able to reclaim his ownership. I heard or read somewhere that he still has a majority of shares of.
Sure.
I don't even know. Anyway, I think that we pretty much consider him moving on past the WWE now, but I don't know. Saudi Arabia, they're doing it. From what they're saying online, there's a lot of money involved, and a lot of money to be made for the company, for a lot of the boys. It is about business, so I don't have a problem with it. I don't know how they're going to celebrate it here at the same time. Will it be like a closed circuit TV like they did in the old days, WrestleMania 2 and shit? Or is there going to be like a WrestleCon? Surely they're not going to go to Saudi Arabia and expect us to go there to sit at tables and sign autographs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Will they pick a spot here where, because what about all the peripheral business that's made from WrestleMania every year, from the 30 some odd independent wrestling shows in the area and all the international fans? Will the international fans all go to Saudi Arabia to support that? I think they will. I don't know. And I don't even know if they're allowed, though. I mean, that's one of the reasons you want WrestleMania to come to your town, your place, your location, is for the tourism business that it'll bring. So I'm assuming if you're living in Japan or I don't know, England, I haven't compared on the globe, but you're coming internationally to come to the States anyway, maybe you don't mind going the other way and going to Saudi Arabia.
It's going to be interesting because I think a big pitch for Saudi and a big hope for them is, we want to make this a travel stop for people to come and come to our country and see how progressive and things that we're doing differently in worlds like that. So I think that's a good part of their what they want is their agenda. And so if you're bringing WrestleMania there and you're trying to.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
And they're having all these stars come in. There's
the Olympics, same thing. You get the Olympics to stop in there, and you want everyone to come in there and improve your local economy. However you can capitalize on it.
I'm curious though too, is it not being in the States for that year, and especially going to Saudi Arabia and stuff like that. Short term, man, you're making a crap ton of money, and you it's going to be really, really great. But what does it say? I wonder for the brand long term in regards to moving forward after. Will they lose goodwill with fans? I'm curious too by doing this and taking it away from the United States. You know what I mean? That's just something I was kind of thinking about too. And
I think. I mean, the way I see it, it's like you're feeding the fans birthday cake fucking 12 months out of the year, and you want to take one show and you want to go do something else with it. I think the fans are still spoiled enough. That's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely, you're getting a lot of stuff year in and year out with it all too. So
I did think, and I don't want to jump in here too much.
No, go for it. Yeah,
not in the wrestling world, but I did think the comment about is it all just about money? Clearly, isn't everything? I don't know. It's like you hear people say stuff like especially out in Vegas, they'll say stuff like everything in this town, it costs money. It's like, but yeah, we use money in Iowa too, dude. What the fuck? They use it everywhere. That's what makes the world go round. It's money. So yeah.
And
that's all the big. You can do that with everything, though. You can do that with college football right now. You can do it with all the college sport, all the college athletes. Oh, they've got NIL deals now. Oh, the money, and it's like, yeah, people are gonna get paid. People want to get paid for being, these TV look at was it Paramount that just bought up all the UFC?
Yes,
Yeah,
Paramount brought all that up. Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
shouldn't it be more accept? What if someone doesn't want to get Paramount? I don't know. Pay up. They paid up. They bought it. That's it. It's done. It's a done
That's
deal.
it.
Yeah. So
And like, look at fucking NFL right now. Like, they're going all across the international games and stuff.
yeah.
Big part of the season now. All that stuff. So it really speaks. Yeah, everything's all about money. So yeah, and I think too, if Vince were to come back, I think if Saudi gave him a crap ton of money to take WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia, he would do it too. I do think that's part of it. But good question there, Maddie, for sure. All right, super chat. So this follows up, I guess, in a way, because the speculation is big matches, big names going to Saudi Arabia,
Right.
like
And
Stone
big
Cold,
paydays.
big paydays. So Maddie makes the pitch here: RVD versus Cena missed. Could we see RVD versus Cody or Punk? So Rob, you talked about that on your TMZ interview. That there was a talk about you and Cena having a farewell match almost, and obviously your heels turned heel on you and didn't happen. So, but
Yeah. And I left out some details, of course, and just streamlined it. But basically, yeah. And anything's possible. Cody, or who was the other one?
CM Punk as well.
Oh, yeah, I forgot already. I mean, it would be awesome. I would have to be in a top position, with WWE for that to make sense. I got to be on top mind of the story writers and management for utilizing all of their every second of live TV time and however they have it all broken down, but that's awesome to think that the fans would like to see that. But, if Hunter would like to see that as well and got a chance to see that the fans would like to see it as well, then yeah, it's possible. It's definitely not in the plans. And I'm just going with the flow right now. Yeah, I have been evading wrestling offers for the last few months, and some of them were a little intriguing because even though I hate traveling, it's always cool when I can bring Katie somewhere awesome. Like one of them was Brazil, and one of them was the fuck was it? Portugal? No, because the Portugal guy is the Brazil. Oh, Australia. Yeah, and down under. But anyway, it's weird, right? I hate traveling, but going somewhere like that's cool. And Brazil, I've never been, so I can add that to my big list of somewhere close to 40 countries that I've been to.
Wow,
man, it's crazy.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm going with the flow, and I'll wait and see. But definitely, though, I'm healing up, and it's awesome to be able to be back on my feet and move a little bit, and after being sitting on my ass for so long.
Right, or crawling on your knuckles.
That was a long time ago, but yeah, thank God I'm past that phase.
That's right. Maddie chimes in too. Remember TLC? It was Kane, RVD, Jeff Hardy versus Bubba and Spike versus Y2J and Christian. So it was like a 4-way. Yeah, sounds like a good match.
I didn't think that I was in a TLC, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I didn't know you were either, to be honest.
So wait, let's see that again? It's a 3-way? Sure. Is that what he's saying?
TLC, 4-way?
This is RVD and Jeff.
Jeff versus Bubba and Spike versus Y2J and Christian. So Kane, I think, wrestled by himself, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
And then, so you were teaming with Jeff Hardy, and then Bubba and Spike, and then Y2J and Christian. I think that was on Raw.
Okay. I don't fucking no recollection of that one.
Yeah. I do kind of remember.
Huh.
I did want to give a shout out to this guy, Problematic UAV. I've waited my entire life to rip a dab with you, RVD, but this might be the closest I come. A lot of people are talking about what they're smoking this time around too.
Spark him if you got him.
Spark 'em if you got 'em.
Yeah.
Tom, I'm very novice when it comes to smoking, so it's just like,
Oh, really?
oh yeah, big
I was,
time.
oh man, I loved weed. I still enjoy the smell of it. Like we were talking before, my wife's family lives in Vegas, so we visit often. And just now, like it used to be in Vegas, like weed was like the casinos thought it was like taboo and stuff like that. And it was like you couldn't find it. Now there's dispensaries everywhere. And it was just my big thing was I had to switch from sativa to indica. I realized that the sativa like would make me like everything in Vegas is like bing, 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 bing. And I was like, oh my God. And if I smoked indica, it was like, it just brought me down to like the right level of, yeah. I do kind of miss it for stand up though. Because it kind of puts you in that funky, funny mindset where you can kind of, you know, you kind of trail into different thoughts and that sort of thing. And can kind of vibe in the moment. So
right.
You know, if you learn someone stand up, you learn their thought process.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a wise man once said.
I think you actually said that, and then that's in Headstrong, you know? And so I think what happened was you said that to me, like, I don't know, one night while we were hanging out. And then
you said it. You said it. I said, say that again. And then you act like you never said it before, even though it's probably tattooed on your back. You said, when you learn someone's stand up, you learn their thought process. Then I was on the radio and I tried to say it, and I said, when you learn someone's stand up, you learn their process of thought. And then you said, I got very Yoda like process of thought. That's a horrible Yoda. I can't do that. Do Yoda.
I can't.
Process of
thought. Crazy you are, Rob.
I can't do that. Yeah, because I'm taking an L in the Yoda impressionist.
Well, I do got to shout you out though, Rob. On X, you did a Yoda impression to a troll that said something really phrased it really
fast. They missed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fan of mine, you once were.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, they totally missed that with a picture of Yoda.
Yeah, it was great. Frankie Chorizo, he asks, who has the physical ECW championship belt, Rob? Do you know where they're currently at?
No, I don't. I know that I have one of them. I have the ECW television championship that I won from Bam Bam Bigelow. The TV title was replaced while I was the champion from that old traditional look to a new I don't know, it was like more rounder and
it was a rounder and it kind of had the hardcore lettering on it stuff.
Yeah, Jamar was the company that made them, by the way. So they were Jamar belts, but they were all universal. Taz had his FTW belt and the TV title and the tag belts, heavyweight. So anyway, I have the original TV title, the TV title that replaced mine. Rhino had, and then the fuck did he say he did with it? I think he sold it, maybe.
Oh,
yeah. I can't remember what he said he did with it, but he had it and doesn't have it anymore. I think he said he sold it. I can't remember, but and the other ones I have no idea. You know, I'm guessing Dreamer has one hidden in a fat pocket. I don't know. No, I don't
dude,
know.
he tripped on so much about his weight on X. I mean, it's in fun jest, but it's like everybody's ripping on Dreamer because of his weight.
He does it too. That's what he invites you to because he's the first when to do it. But still not right, damn it. We just said 2 wrongs don't make a right. But we do it with love. That's different. Love's different than hate. Oh, and by the way, for people listening, just so you know, I think that murdering is wrong. So if
that's why
that's a controversial statement right now, Rob.
Oh my God, Rob.
But
I think I wish I would have seen the thing about now I have to go Google it about the stuff that he wrote on the bullets.
Yeah, I did.
Well, someone told me in the chat room it was the shell casings. I guess that's
the shell casings or something like that. Yeah, of course.
Nope.
Yeah. Probably not on the tip of but yeah, on the shell casings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that with a chair, Rob? Have you ever written something on it and then pop somebody in the head with it?
Alls Mahoney did.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he used to do. He used to write stuff on the chair and then fold it around our head, put our face print in it. Yeah. Yeah.
Good dude, golly.
That was
Christopher chimes in, sending positive energy and vibes to everyone in the chat. About to spark this bowl of some sweet Sheba. Peace to all of my cannabis conquistadors. Fire in the hole.
nice. Fucking A, man. Appreciate it, Christopher.
Yeah, brother.
Fucking stay up. Keep your spirits high. Positive vibes to you. Chiba Hut is a place that's close to where I live, and great. It's toasted subs and a bar too. It's a really cool place.
Oh, they have a bar in that one?
Yeah, it's all decorated out as marijuana themed. But they don't sell it there, and you can't smoke it there. So
it's a marijuana themed sandwich. See, we have one here, but there's no bar in the one here.
Okay, yeah.
I've always said it's a gateway drug to overpriced shitty food. But I think if there was a bar in there, then there was there's no dispensaries here either. If there was a dispensary, I could hit.
There's one right next door to the one I'm talking about.
Oh, that's awesome. There used to be one when I lived in Vegas. There was one at one point. I lived like over by where the Raiders Stadium is at, and there was one right across the street from my house, and I was over there all the time. And the guy, I would walk in, and the guy would be like, "Hey, Tom," and I was like, "Please don't say my name." Like, just act, the tourists are like, "That guy know you?"
Like Cheers, like Norman Cheers.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, welcome back.
They'd always Rob, I don't know what dispensary you go to, but do they always do the thing where they like give you swag, like hats and t-shirts and stuff?
People always give me shit.
Well, probably because it's you, yeah. But I meant like
I have a delivery.
You get the delivery?
Yeah.
I used to go into this weed, and then they would be like, "Here, you get a free. You spent so much money, you get a free hat."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why do you guys do that?" And they're like, "So you come back and buy more weed." I was like, "I'm gonna let you in on a secret. I'll be back to buy more weed no matter what."
You're right across the street, bro.
Yeah, it's like you will see, hat or no hat, you will see me again.
I'll be back. You don't gotta give me a hat. Come on.
Now people always give me shit. I'm always complaining to Katie because like someone wants us to be like guest judges for this thing, and it's gonna come with bag of all this stuff, and she's just like, it's free. I go, I know, but look at all the free shit that we have that's in our cluttered in our free gift room. Bags.
You have a free gift room? That's awesome.
Yeah, I want a free gift room.
So yeah, I'll have like a big stack of hats. Who some of it makes eBay if it's wrestling themed or something.
Sure.
Not an eBay guy. Otherwise, sign it. But otherwise, yeah, like who I don't wear hats ever. So I tell them when they try to give me hats, like, hey, I don't wear a hat though. Don't get it. I don't want to. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take
you gotta bring AP9 with you, and you hand him the gift bag, and then he just goes, and you're like, all right, you got our shit. Let's get out of here.
That's it.
AP9 is well known for dating Ice-T's wife, Coco.
Coco?
I think I remember that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So before, but anyway, yeah, he did some time recently. I haven't seen him.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he was posting on social media like from being locked up somewhere, and then had to have like I think some kind of a job afterwards, doing a regular, being a regular schmo or something, probably conditions for probation, and I was. Yeah, I didn't catch up with him really and don't know what it was about, but I saw he went through that.
Condition number 1, you cannot Irish goodbye anymore.
You have to stick around.
You have to be we have to know where you are. He's like,
Yeah.
that probably drove him nuts. That would drive him nuts in prison.
Right. You can't Irish goodbye anywhere.
Like they just keep losing him. They're like, put him in maximum security. Like, has he done anything violent? No, but we just can never find him. We don't know where he's at.
He's out of nowhere.
He just leaves. I found him under a stack of books in the library.
That's it. That's it.
It is, dude. That is a great way to leave a social environment, though. If you don't,
hell
you
yeah.
don't want to say goodbye and go through the hugs and the long, or people saying don't leave or whatever it is. Just if you've seen everybody, they know you're there. Sometimes that's great. Just be like, oh,
like
the door's right behind me. Okay.
Hey.
I feel like that's a big Midwest thing. Rob, you're Midwest originally. Now you're 40 countries, but I feel like that I live in Iowa, the Midwest. People do, you'll be like, well, I got to get going. And then they start another story and then they follow you to your car.
Yeah.
And you're like, I said I was going. And then at the end of the party ends up like me shouting at someone. Like, I'm like, I have to leave. Let me go. Like,
and the only thing better than that is when they're trying to give you directions and you already got a fucking phone that'll tell you how to get there. Just remember, when you see the gas station, you're like, fuck off. Go back inside.
I feel like I've stuck around for long enough conversations that I've earned the right to Irish goodbye anytime I went to.
Right. I had a guy stop me yesterday. I was in Rob, you said stuff about stand-up before of like if I had shows or not. I was in Minneapolis last night and I was parked and I had just gotten some lunch. So I'm just like eating in my car before the show. And some guy comes up and he knocks on the window. And it's an old man. I was like, and so I roll the window down and he goes, hey, how do I get to Best Buy? And I was like, oh, here, let me show you on my phone. And so I showed him my phone. And then he goes, what road is that? I was like, it's I-94. Get on over here. And I'm like describing this to him. And he goes, I still don't really feel confident in this. And I was like, what do I do? Like, you want me to drive you over there? Like, And then I thought, like, I'm getting mugged, but this is like the slowest mugging setup ever. Like,
did you get him a sandwich on the way?
No, I didn't. Honestly, like if he wouldn't have been extremely old, I would have just sped off. I feel like I get hit up all the time by, I don't know what it is. Like I always wear the suit for comedy. I think they think like I look professional or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It would happen a lot in Vegas. You're walking, I would just hear, sir, excuse me, sir. That's never anything good. That's
Yeah.
If you wear a suit, you can get into places, but it opens you up for more responsibility sometimes. Too.
True.
I wouldn't know. I almost never. I hate
the only time I've seen
I was gonna say Hall of Fame induction. I saw you wear a suit.
Yeah, you wear a suit. And then for the WWE draft, when you were on Raw, you wore a suit for that.
Right. Sometimes it's mandatory. But I have a super comfortable one now, so I usually wear the same one. I should get more from that company because it stretches and fucking you curl up in a ball and everything. It's called X something. X something. It's so fucking awesome.
It's like a suit, but it stretches.
It's it's a suit and fucking you can do karate chops. I was just gonna say I learned about Irish goodbyes in Japan, worldly traveler that I am, but it was actually it was a tradition for the boys to go see Joe the Pro Man in Tokyo, and I was very young and new and green. 93, first time I went to All Japan and did a tour over there. And anyway, they took me to see Joe the Pro Man, and then he takes us to the Playboy Bunny Club. Hey, where that chair came from.
Hey.
That actually did come from one of the clubs. There's only like 200 in existence or something. And
Wow.
but anyway, Playboy Bunny Club in Japan, and a bunch of the boys meet us there. So there's a big table of all of us, and that's where I learned the peer pressure that they put you under, especially when you're young and vulnerable and green. And so when you have whenever they want, they just start banging the table and going icky, 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 and you're supposed to fucking slam your drink down. And so anytime you have a full drink of Chuhai in front of you, they're gonna say that anyway. Icky, no, oh god, and you keep doing it until you throw up. I remember, I don't know if I throw up or not, but I remember, man, I drank so much. I think there was maybe another young person besides me on that tour. But Johnny Ace was one of the pressure appliers, that was saying, hey, Key. And then I was talking to him, and then he said he was going to the bathroom. And then just a couple minutes ago, I was just like, fuck, Johnny's taking forever, man. I mean,
Jeez.
Man, did he get stuck talking to somebody? There's the bathroom door. I don't know where he would have. It took me a while, then I was just like, he fucking left. Like, we're in Japan. We're in fucking Japan on the other side of the world, and we fucking just did that.
These guys were all American wrestlers that had gone over to Japan, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were saying that Japanese people would Irish goodbye when you started, and I was like, I don't feel like they can do that culturally.
No.
I feel like they have to do it.
They have to say goodbye, right?
At least you'd be like, I'm going to the bathroom, and then you're like, you're leaving. I saw your hands.
It would take a lot of bonding before we would start actually hanging out with the Japanese guys in a social place.
Yeah.
It would happen sometimes where they would take a cab over to our hotel or whatever, and that was really cool. But at certain times they would get in trouble for that.
Hey, you spoke of Ottawa earlier on. A fan here, Neil Temple, says, "Yo, Rob."
Ottawa Comic Con just days ago.
Yeah, he says, "Yo, Rob, great meeting you and Katie in Ottawa." So he was there for you.
Right on, Neil. Yeah, appreciate you. Neil's a real person.
Neil's real. Neil's real, everybody.
A real dude. Neil's real, not one of the cyber trolls.
The cyber trolls. Maddie has it.
It was awesome, though, by the way. And let's see, did anything special happen? I think the biggest star on the floor was Robert England, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger, yeah. Man, yeah. I bet he had played.
Pretty big show, though. Pretty big. Yeah. And I might have been the only wrestler there.
Wow.
I think so. Maybe. I remember hearing that before the show, and then I don't remember seeing any other wrestlers. So I think it was true. Right now, I can't remember what table. I was at that table. Yeah, I think I was the only wrestler there. So, yep. The whole effing show. That's why they call me the whole effing show.
You're literally the whole effing show there.
Yes, sir. Literally.
Literally. Mm-hmm. Maddie says, "Girl, are you a pirate? Because I treasure your chest." Good stuff.
I saw the one earlier. He said, "How do you cut an ocean in half with a seesaw?"
Oh my God!
Thank you for that, Maddie.
Maddie, And he's got it. He's got it down. He also mentions Holland. Best times in Holland. It's a magical land. Rob, have you been to Holland?
Yes, I really like it. I really do. And some of its power for me was when weed wasn't legal here and it was there, right? Obviously, that was a big part of it. But even beyond that, I just felt like they were just less judgmental people, you know, which that goes beyond the scope of just, you know, being judged for smoking weed. But they just, I like that. I like the canals that are in Amsterdam. I also wrestled in Rotterdam. But I love, like, whenever I'd be in Europe and could go to Amsterdam, I try to take an extra day and do it. And just a lot of walking, you know, kind of like you can do that in maybe like New York City, and there's a few, well, you could do that in Las Vegas, walk down the strip. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of cities don't have that, but Amsterdam, definitely one of those cities you can just walk and walk and walk, you know, like for so many blocks, so many choices to go different directions, and so much going on, you know, between the red light districts that you walk in front of, and beautiful girls in there sometimes, you know, trying to be like sirens that Odysseus had to make his way around while they're taunting, you know, come here, here, you know.
I think the average phrase is "Hey, baby." Like that was what I would hear in Vegas, and I'm like, that's a hooker, definitely.
That's
like
they're behind glass here, so you can't really hear them. But they all have the red frame, and other countries have that too. And even here, where were we? Oh no, that was Ottawa. I guess Ottawa used to have it because anyway, super cool. And there's a lot of like things that I don't do, like live sex shows and stuff. Just the fact that that's such a part of their culture, and that families walk in front of that. And I think kids know that that's not for them, it's for adults. I think that there's not as much like oppression, but I'm not right. But I'm not right now prepared to back that up with reports and statistics. But it seems like they just have in Europe, they're a little more open-minded in ways that I like. And it's cool. I like the houseboats, you know, and just everything. Yeah, I miss it. It's been a little while since I've been there.
Yeah, I hear beautiful things about Holland for sure. I need to go. I need to go overseas. I've never been. So, Seth, though, he's been everywhere because he says if you carry a ladder, you can get into anywhere. That's true. If you carry a ladder around, that's almost like wearing a suit.
All I know is we could have used that ladder when one time this little kid had to stick his finger in a dike in Holland.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh, come in handy.
Probably neither one of you guys know that story, do you?
No, I don't know that story.
No. Hopefully somebody does. That made it worth me saying that. But
somebody's gonna do it. Somebody will figure it out.
That's where I learned that a dike was a dam. And there's some kind of story or fable about a dam with a hole in it that leaked, that he put his thumb in it, but then I think he was stuck there. And I don't know the whole story, if it's a nursery rhyme or some shit, but I was exposed to it when I was a kid. And that was all I knew about Dutch until I, you know, experienced it firsthand. But anybody in the chat room know what the fuck I'm talking about?
I was actually exposed to a lot of dikes as a kid, but that's because I had LimeWire, and I would be like, we were the first people to get internet on our block, and I was like, first things first, dikes.
Hold on.
I had to look at them through a grainy static on the TV.
On the TV.
My neighbor's houses that had the satellite dishes, you kind of didn't really pay for the channel, so it was just, you can kind of see shapes like it's two girls.
I just had gym class, and our teacher was So there, that's the only experience I got.
Little Hero of Holland is a 1910
Oh.
American silent short drama. It's an adaptation of the short fictional story populated. Okay, so see, thank you, Maddie, Mr. Marijuana. It's a thing, yo. If
Yeah,
you got some more European, you would know what I was talking about.
Maddie. Wow, how about that?
Get some fucking culture, would you?
Yeah, come on, Tom.
Get
Who needs
busy.
culture when you have Chat GPT? Like that was
Right.
that totally sounded like AI, didn't it? Can you put that back up?
I think it probably was. I bet Maddie typed it in. I
The
literally bet
Little
you
Hero of Holland was a 1910 American silent short drama produced by the Tannhauser Company. Like that.
Maddie definitely Googled and then copied the.
That's all right. No, hey, Rob, you're well read.
Yes.
I feel like I saw it animated, like in a cartoon or comic book or something when I was real little. And I remember like, what's up with his shoes? Because they had Dutch shoes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
wooden.
Right.
They wear wooden shoes. They're crazy.
The clogs.
There you go.
Maddie does say
What
it
up,
was.
T? I see.
It was Googled.
By the way.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yep, he's a faithful, I know, Twitter follower on Rob's account. What was he from Holland, Michigan? Just kidding, but I did hear the story.
Oh,
How about that? So they were aware of it as well.
that's cool. I was trying to think of the name of that town the other day, and it was Holland, Michigan. So I'm glad you just brought that up because it was outside of Grand Rapids, and I was thinking about the stupid story when I was really young. This would be our first karate tournament. Me and Dango, Andy, and I think Andy's brother Scott. Even there was like 4 of us. It all went to this open invitation karate tournament in Holland, Michigan, and we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know the rules or anything. You just needed a white belt, which you could buy. You started a white belt. We got white belts and got into this thing, and like we were throwing punches and shit that you weren't supposed to, and people were angry, you know, because we were we didn't know. We had no idea. It was, you know. But anyway, I was trying to think of the name of that city. Yeah, it was Holland.
Holland, Michigan.
Just thinking of yesterday. So.
Rob, my geography is poor with Michigan. Is Battle Creek on the west side of the state or the east side of the state?
It's considered the west side.
Okay.
Considered the west side. It's more west than central, you know. So like 2 hours east is Detroit. And if you go, can you go 2 hours west? If you go 2 hours west, you might be in Lake Michigan, but 20 minutes west is Kalamazoo. And then if you keep going west, there's Grand Rapids, but I think you got to go north a little bit. But yeah, so we're west.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I'm glad I knew that now. Now I'm aware because I heard Detroit was more east. So.
Yeah, I would say Midwest if that's an option.
It is an option, Rob.
Sweet.
I'll take it.
I'll take Midwest for 420.
For 420. Hey, Tom. Seth here is curious if you have a YouTube channel.
You know, if you YouTube me, there's like a couple clips out there, but I have most of my stuff is on Instagram.
Okay.
So my Instagram is Tom Garland LV, like Las Vegas, and I've just never changed it.
Yeah.
So Tom Garland LV, you can see all my clips on there. There's stand-up clips and radio clips. I've been doing radio once a week here in Iowa, where I go on a morning show, like a rock morning show, and tell jokes on there. So you can find that. And I've got a full comedy special out though right now, and that would be cool if you watch that. It's called Tom Garland's Selling Out, and that's on Tubi for free.
There you go.
Tubi.
I got the Tubi.
Tubi.
So check it out, Seth. I'll check it out too.
Tubi.
Anything else you want to plug, Tom? Or
what is it called? Selling Out? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's called Tom Garland's Selling Out.
Sweet.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm actually in another movie too that just came out. I was supposed to plug this. I actually found it was cool. Rob texted me, and and I was just like driving home, and so I was like 30 minutes away from home, and then the guy that made the movie texted me and said our movie's out today. So some of these distributors like they don't tell you when the streaming site's gonna take it and stuff like that. So
Barbie, look at Barbie.
Oh, little Barbara wants to say hi.
That's so cute.
Well, then I texted you, and then it was on streaming.
Yeah, so he right when we got done texting, he called me, texted whatever, and then we jumped on a call. And the movie is called Huskies, and it's free on Fossum right now. But that's like an actual narrative movie. It's like a comedy drama sports movie about a basketball team. It's like a basically old guys versus young guys alumni grudge match from a private school versus a public school. The public school guys are always screwed over by these rich private school kids, and now they've all grown up and they have this alumni grudge match. And so it's like a bunch of 40, 50-year-olds go and play a bunch of 20, 30-year-olds. And it gets like way more blown out of proportion than it should be. And I play a fat middle school basketball coach that's out of shape. And instead of trying to get in shape, I just like eat hamburgers and smoke a vape and yell at kids and stuff like that. So I'm kind of one of the bad guys in it, but it was really fun. So Huskies, that's on Fossum. And then the comedy special, Tom Garland Selling Out on Tubi.
Sweet.
And Headstrong, man. That's really, that's really the one, like that's, if anybody knows me from anything, it's that,
Cool. It was the first thing that popped up when I Googled you.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, it really, what was so funny about that was that, Rob, I was telling Dom before we got on the call, I don't know if you even remember exactly when we met, but we met, I think it was like 2014, 2015, something like that, maybe. But you were performing stand-up in Las Vegas, and I got booked to open for you. And then afterwards we were talking about doing stand-up, and I said, you should tour. You should do some comedy tours. And you said, you cannot afford me. And I was like, fair enough. And then I think it was like somehow I gave you my number or something. And then you followed up maybe like, I don't know, maybe like even like a month later. And you were like, hey, I want to get out of the house. I want to do some comedy tours. And I ran Rob Ragged across the country quite a few times. And then finally we decided to bring a camera along. And that's how you meet Joe, who's going to come on the radio show that I do here in town next week. So that's cool.
And that'll be to talk about the Sabu documentary that drops September 15th on Kinema.
And
that's Monday, right?
That's Monday. So like that'll be when people hear this episode. So yeah, that'll be the day the Sabu documentary drops out.
Wow, that's so cool.
Kinema. It's like cinema, but with a K.
The K.
Same platform. I'm told that Raven's documentary is going to be on. So
I've actually heard that's like, and not blowing smoke, I've heard that's the new, like a lot of the the indie distribution's heading over there. So I think you guys are ahead of the curve. What's that?
On Kinema?
Yeah, it's like the new, it's the new. That's
you
like
where you been, Dom?
I'm out of the loop. I don't watch anything. I don't read anything. I still got to read the Celestian Prophecy and all that.
It's a cool platform. As I understand it, you can kind of do like this, where you can jump in a chat too while it's on, and you can have viewing parties and different stuff like that. And
sweet. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was going to be on, and I will try to schedule something as well to get on.
For the radio station?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That's sweet.
But like you said, he's when he's on, I think he says like 5 a.m. here or whatever. Which I had a phone call 5 this morning, but
really,
when is he up? When is he going to be on?
Joe will be on. It's your time. It'd be like 4 to 6 or 4 to 5 in the morning.
What day?
On Monday, right?
On Tuesday.
Oh, so
it's coming Tuesday. So it'll be the day after your movie comes out. Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Joe in Backyard Studios, very talented kid. Tom introduced us together, and hopefully we'll do a lot of projects together because we talk about projects all the time, but he also has some of his own projects and own agendas. You know, this was like I've been pointing or asked to point this out actually during interviews, what we did different this time with the Sabu documentary over Headstrong, which is on Amazon, also Amazon Prime. Also, we sold it to Reels, so you might have seen it on there. But that was me, and I was involved every single second, like over his shoulder, editing every minute. From the audio to the music, like to the cut this shorter, let the music overlap, this and that. Like I was a pain in his ass this time. Kind of more of a hands-off approach. Him and Sabu worked a lot on it together. I'm in it a lot. You'll see that. But Sabu was always calling, saying, "Hey, we're going to be filming tonight. Can you meet us?" And they were doing that for the better part of the year before Sabu passed, leading up to his last match. And so mostly Joe's vision. I just, took some of the mostly just bigger notes that were real important and talked to him about those. And he agreed, applied them, boom. So, that's what we did. That's a little different. And definitely hope everybody loves this because we have ideas to do a lot of other movies on wrestlers, especially ones for me that don't already have documentaries done on them.
Right? Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, like you think about some of them, like Mike Awesome would be great.
Like Mike Awesome, yeah, exactly.
Be very cool. Well, and Joe Clark does wonderful work too. We'll have to try to maybe get him on too at some point, and talk a little bit about the documentary stuff.
Yeah, before you wrap up, because it feels like we're wrapping up, I got a box here that I want to open up. I forgot.
Yeah, do it to it, brother.
I forgot to open it up last.
That fucking
What is that?
That's his letter opener.
Yeah, so
People actually buy those. I always see those in like a foreigner gas station. Like,
yeah, totally. That's I used to collect them, and there was a place in LA on Santa Monica and Vine. Every time I used to do something in a studio right a few blocks from there, TV radio. Anyway, every time I would go in there and buy a new one and add to my collection. So they were all over the walls and everything. My favorites are the ones that are hidden that look like they're not a blade, but a little statue or something.
Yeah, like you're in a Vincent Price mansion.
Rob, you have to be the only person that owns one of those that is not a virgin. Like, I feel like that is the calling card of incels, and you are like the most oversexed person I know, and I can't believe
the most oversexed person.
That's great.
Dude, these are some of this. I love like at the flea markets and shit. Like I used to love. It's been for decades since I've been there, probably, but I used to love that. Finding the martial arts booth that has the ninja stars, and
I feel like it's like ninja stars, then lightsabers, and then sex doll right after that. Then it's just like, I started with ninja stars, and then I bought this AI doll that vibrates. I don't know.
I used to sharpen them with a knife sharpener, and the stars, and then fucking throw them into trees and shit. Stupid, yeah. But anyway, this box comes from Mass, MASS. They've been sending me supplements forever. As I just said, decades. I got to say it again because they've been sending me shit for decades. John Drake, good dude. He runs this Mass Muscle and Sports Science. See how that works? So
Yeah.
Some fucking protein that I got from Mass, bro. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Got some of that and some more of that and some more of that. and also got some aminos, fucking synthegen, fucking amino acids, which are basically that's what peptides are too. Which I like peptides a lot, and they're just a bunch of amino acids that have a singular purpose, and they get in and out of your body. Adaptogens, melatonin, tubulus terrestrius, some other shit to help you sleep and encourage your growth process. And guess what, guys?
Uh-oh.
A hat.
You got a hat.
Who wants a hat?
Great. I thought you were gonna be like there was a throwing star in the bottom of there.
No, but hey, thank you, Mass Supplements, as always. It's awesome. I fucking waited a week to open that box because I forgot last week, but had it. And Tom, I'm giving you this hat, bro.
I'll take it. Thank you.
That's your parting gift for showing up this week.
They say if you get to know someone's supplements, you get to know their thought process.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Matty chimed in. He said, "Moo Man," that's his dog. He says hello in Boston. AAA
In Boston.
In Boston. Yeah, Rob, what do you think about WWE acquiring AAA, the Lucha Libre?
It just seems like I've said every week, the WWE's just on the grow and bringing in so much money that they're trying to find pockets to crevices to stuff money into, and they're going to be doing things that are smart where they can make more money and dominate and own and acquire more and more of the world. That's how I see it. And thing about the AAA is it seemed to come out of nowhere, at least from, I'm not the most on top of everything when it comes to that, but I never heard anything. And even like with the TNA thing, it doesn't seem like there was a lot of talks about like, hey, they're talking about maybe doing this. It just kind of seemed like overnight it was just like, oh, guess who WWE owns now?
Yeah.
That's all Lucha, right?
Yes.
I think I stumbled on that by accident. I have a VR headset.
Arriba.
Yeah.
Arriba.
I put the VR headset on, right? I bought it for my wife for Christmas. She likes video games, and so it's a big video game. I put it on, and they have
porn, bro.
Yeah, it's porn.
That's the new LimeWire, is the VR headset.
No.
Yeah, exactly. No doubt. So I'm in the VR, and then they have like a thing. It's called like Spaces or something, but you can go to like events, and it puts you like in a pocket of people at events. And one was a luchador wrestling, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll do that. But I didn't realize that I had my wife's like profile on, so it's like her avatar, so it's a girl, and so I was all of a sudden the only woman at the luchador VR hangout, and all these guys, hola chica, hola. They're like coming up to me, they're like hola, and I was like, oh, I'm a dude, and then they're like, oh, what the hell, man, that's a dude, man, that's a dude. They all threw their throwing stars at me, and
they got the letter opener.
Yeah. You needed some of your own.
That's it.
Frankie Turizo says that Tony Montana in Scarface is watching the news and the reporter, and they said all you can do is put your finger in the dike and pray. And Tony said, "Who would want to put their finger in a dike?" That's my first ever Tony Montana.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
You gonna put your finger in a dike, man?
That was way better.
Huh? You fucking serious, man?
I'm trying to give you guys some couth.
Yes.
Look that one
up. Trying to culture us here, Rob. We're a bunch of miscreants. That's it. All right. Hey, I guess that's it for this week. Tom, thanks for joining us, man. We got to get you back on here.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you, Tom. Rob, thank you, brother. Really good to talk to you. Dude. Yeah. Wish you the best. You're gonna be a father. We haven't even talked about that, but I don't want to start a whole thing. But congratulations, man. I don't think I've got to tell you face to face yet. So
yeah, appreciate it. We're pretty stoked.
Yeah, gonna be good stuff, man.
Looking forward to a big change up in priorities and shit like that.
You'll take the throwing stars and put them on the top shelf. where the kids can't.
Oh yeah, we still got a lot of that shit to do.
Yep.
Cool. All right, man. Appreciate it, Van Dam fam.
Yeah.
Have
We'll see you all next time.
excellent weekend.
Yes, here on One of a Kind with RVD. And thank you.
Don't hate. Feel great.
That's it.
Appreciate. Later, mate.
All love.